Welcome to today's official National Night Out kickoff, a night when we all become neighbors as we join together to give crime a going-away party. Good afternoon. My name is Diana Klink, and on behalf of the City of Suffolk, it is indeed an honor to welcome you to today's festivities. Please stand for the invocation provided by Councilman Curtis Miltier.
Let us pray. Eternal God, our Heavenly Father, again we come in your presence, and we're grateful for this opportunity to be able to be part of the decision-making process where we come together and work against evil and wrongdoers. We ask, God, that you would grant unto us peace and justice and fair play and kindness to all mankind. We ask that you direct us and guide us as we go through the communities. Help us to do that which is right, pleasing unto you. We ask these blessings in your Son's name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you. You may be seated. As I look around, we have a number of special guests with us this afternoon, and I'd like to recognize, of course, our Honorable Mayor, Linda T. Johnson, Vice Mayor Leroy Bennett, Cypress Borough, Councilman Donald Goldberg, Suffolk Borough, Councilman Curtis Miltier of the Whaleyville Borough, Councilman Roger Fawcett, Sleepy Hole Borough, Councilman Mike Dooman, Chuckatuck Borough, Councilman Lou Ward with Nansmond Borough, and Councilman Tim Johnson from Holy Neck. We also have with us our interim city manager, Patrick Roberts, our chief of staff, Debbie George. From our constitutional officers, we have joining us this evening Randy Carter, clerk of the circuit court, Susan Draper, commissioner of the revenue, Ron Williams, treasurer, Chief Thomas Bennett, Suffolk Police Department, Chief Cedric Scott, Suffolk Fire and Rescue, and also joining us this year, our public safety partner, Superintendent William Smith of Western Tidewater Regional Jail. Also from our constitutional officers, Raleigh Isaacs, our sheriff, and our Commonwealth's attorney, Phil Ferguson. We also want to give a special thank you to our delegate, Chris Jones, for joining us this evening. Also joining us a little bit later in the tour is going to be our Virginia Senator John Cosgrove. Also joining us are various school board members, members of various boards and commissions, and I'd like to give a special thank you to our graduates of the Suffolk Police Department's recent Senior Academy, many of them joining us this evening as well, in addition to our other state and local elected and appointed officials. Once again, thank you everyone for joining us. At this time, I'd like to introduce our interim city manager, Patrick Roberts, who will provide tonight's opening remarks.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you. Again, welcome and thank you all for being here tonight. As you know, National Night Out has become an institution in Suffolk. What has grown from a small handful of gatherings scattered about the city has grown to over 60 events citywide. And this night continues to define what our city is made of when you talk about community involvement. This event is a success due to the hard work of residents and businesses who partner to say no to crime. The partnership is forged between the communities and the public. Public safety personnel pay huge dividends year-round based on everybody coming out and getting to know one another on a night like this. We're proud of what Suffolk is able to accomplish for National Night Out, and we want to make sure that this is more than just one night and that we continue this success all throughout the year, and that the spirit of National Night Out carries forth and helps our city grow and prosper. Again, thank you and welcome. We wish you a successful National Night Out.
Thank you very much. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce the Honorable Mayor, Linda T. Johnson.
Are we ready? Yes. Are we going to be number one again? Yes. Absolutely. I want to thank all of you for joining us this evening as we kick off Suffolk's National Night Out festivities. We're soon going to be leaving in motorcade tours to go to civic leagues, homeowners associations, businesses, condominium associations, civic groups, neighborhood watch groups, churches, you name it. All the neighborhoods and communities that have combined together their efforts to give crime a going-away party tonight. No one else in Hampton Roads, or in Virginia, in fact, throws a party for National Night Out like we do here in Suffolk. And we've got several first-place trophies and countless awards to prove it. But none of this recognition would have been possible without the hard work, dedication, and commitment displayed by the countless event organizers and volunteers that work tirelessly from tomorrow on for the next year. They work for months and months, and to each of them, we say thank you, and let's give them a round of applause. I feel like this year's Project 365 theme, working together to take a bite out of crime, is especially appropriate. And I'm proud to note that for the last several years, Suffolk is ranked among the lowest crime rates in the Hampton Roads region. Now, we've had a few things happen lately, but let's also look at this. Has anybody ever seen arrests made quicker than we make in Suffolk? Congratulations to our men and women in blue. To everyone here tonight, but as I always say, I'm looking the other direction and I see all of the men and women in blue and the men and women in brown and all of the city folks that work so hard and all of our volunteers. Everyone deserves a huge thank you. This is a great success, not just tonight. This is a success for our city as where we are heading. You know, we have all accolades to talk about. The one thing we want to see go down is crime. Everything else we want to see go up. And I think that's what we're doing in this city. I'm so proud and excited. And I just want to say this is the one night of the year where we get to be a part of everyone's community. We all come together and we get to join together and be one city, just like we need to be every single day, 365 days a year. I do want to take just 1 second to ask Delegate Jones to please come up and join us for a minute. I can't not have him here. When he's here, he's got to have a chance at the mic. So let's have a great time tonight, Delegate Jones.
I tried to stay in the back. I asked you to put me on the spot, but I want to thank everybody for coming out. This is a highlight of the year for, I think, our community. This is my 30th year. I just began last month of public service, and it never ceases to amaze me how this community has come together as it's grown over the last several decades, and just see what we are and how we are a leader in Hampton Roads. So I want to thank y'all for being here this evening, and look forward to the tour around the town, and hopefully we got a lot of water because it's hot. Thank you.
Joining us now to provide some brief remarks will be our public safety partners, starting with Chief Thomas Bennett.
Good afternoon. I too would like to thank all of our citizens, businesses, and city departments in coming out tonight and supporting National Night Out. This is the one night each year that we all get together and make a statement that we're all going to fight crime and make the city of Suffolk a safe place to live and work. Every year when I attend the get-togethers that we're getting ready to go to, I see what makes Suffolk so special, and that's our people, all of our people. Our citizens consistently demonstrate a willingness to get involved in situations, a genuine concern for each other, a willingness to work together, and a trust that enables us to depend on each other when times get tough. I'm proud to report, I got a little bit of good news about crime numbers this year. Violent crime in the city of Suffolk right now, and when I say violent crime, I mean murder, rape, robbery, and aggravated assault are down 13% compared to last year. And that, folks, is on top of an overall Part 1 crime decrease last year of 14%, so that's another 13%. That's very extraordinary. Things like that don't happen by accident. This success is a result of the police department, citizens, businesses, and other agencies all working together very hard to make this city safe. So I want to take just a second to recognize some of our key players in the public safety arena. First, to our mayor, vice mayor, council, and city manager. I want to thank each and every one of you for your commitment and support to public safety in the city. Without your support, we wouldn't be where we are today. So thank you all very much. I want to thank the men and women of the Suffolk Police Department. I know how hard each of you work every single day all the time, working very hard to make the city safe. Thank you so much for all that y'all do. A lot of people don't realize just how much y'all do every day and at night while we're all asleep, so thank you for what you do. I also want to thank Sheriff Raleigh Isaacs here to my right and Chief Deputy E.C. Harris of the Suffolk Sheriff's Department and all of your men and women that always support public safety initiatives and the police department. Thank you for your help. You do a wonderful job. I'd like to thank our Commonwealth Attorney, Mr. Phil Ferguson, also to my right, for all of his and his staff's work and effort. Without them, we would not be able to get the criminals prosecuted and off the street and reduce crime. One of the reasons crime is down in Suffolk for the last 2 years so much is because I believe we have a lot of the right people tucked away where they can't commit crime. And that's Mr. Ferguson and his staff's job. So thank you for the good work you're doing. And last but certainly not least, I want to thank Chief Scott and all the members of Suffolk Fire and Rescue. Y'all play a big part in the public safety effort in our city. Thank you for the great job y'all do. It's now my pleasure to call to the podium our Commonwealth Attorney, Mr. Phil Ferguson, for his comments.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here, and we're here every year, and it never ceases to amaze me the enthusiasm and efforts that are put on by the people of Suffolk for this event. It goes all the way from the mayor to the city council to the city manager to the police department to the constitutional officers. All across the city is what we see. And I think it's important to note that this theme this year is working together to take a bite out of crime, because it does take all of us, including parents, youth, clergy, businesses, educators, law enforcement, and local government working together to make a difference in our neighborhoods and our city. We've got to continue to work together to guide our youth away from crime, drugs, and gangs, and help those already involved to leave this lifestyle. You know, nobody is immune from the impact that crime, drugs, and gangs can have on a community. And these things cross all racial, ethnic, socioeconomic, and geographic boundaries, and they exist in urban, suburban, and rural communities. But together, what we can do as a community is give our at-risk youth our time, attention, and alternatives to a criminal lifestyle. But our youth have got to understand that there are going to be consequences for their actions, and that those who choose to be involved in criminal activity are going to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Because the safety of the communities in Suffolk has and always will be the top priority for our office. And as your Commonwealth's attorney, I will certainly continue to do everything in my power to enforce the laws of the state and to see that justice is done. And I do look forward every day, and I would like the attorneys and other employees in the Suffolk Commonwealth's Attorney's Office to stand. If they're here, please stand for a moment to be recognized. These ladies and gentlemen are the people that every day are in the courts or doing the administrative work or otherwise to make sure that the court system is running smoothly and that the people that the police department arrests are fully prosecuted appropriately. And I was certainly very pleased to hear that we've had thus far this year, from a crime standpoint, a 13% reduction. And that's on top of a 14% from last year. And I would agree with you, Chief. We try our best to see that those who deserve to be sent out of the communities are, and I hope those numbers reflect that. And all in all, I would just like to say that as we go forward tonight to the various communities within Suffolk, there really is nowhere else around that does the kinds of things we do on a citywide basis and reached out with, tonight I think there's 60 different groups that are being involved. That is tremendous, and I don't know of any other city that does that. So in that regard, I think it shows what Suffolk is all about. We are one city, we're one community, and we all work together when it comes to having a better life for all of us. Thank you.
Good evening, and I will be very brief. Once again, it's National Night Out, and tonight we join thousands of cities and towns across America to tell the criminal element that this is America's night against fighting crime. This year marks the 31st year that this program has been in effect. It started in 1984 and has been very, very effective to reduce crime. The purpose intentionally was to create support for crime prevention, to build a relationship with the community and law enforcement, and thirdly, to tell the criminal element that the communities are organized in fighting back. As we visit the various communities tonight, let us first of all travel safely and not forget to thank these folks for all their efforts that they put forward in making this a very successful program. As our city manager has said, please remember tonight that this event will build a stronger and safer city, and hopefully it will extend beyond this one night. I personally would like to thank everyone for participating. I hope you have a safe and enjoyable evening. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to stand before you this evening to stand as the fire chief of this great city. I want to begin by thanking the police department and their efforts and for continuing to allow the fire department to be a part of this evening. It gives us an opportunity to get out in the community and talk about fire safety education and let the kids see the fire trucks and just talk to our community. So we're very appreciative of being a part of this event every year. Without a fire department, you don't need a fire chief. So I better start by, first of all, saying that I thank the men and women who make up, the brave men and women who make up our fire and rescue department. The lives they save and continue to put their lives on the line every day. I'm just humbled by the work that they do every day, and it's just a great honor to be able to say I'm the fire chief of this great city and great department. So wanted to certainly recognize them. This evening is an evening to simply say, crime, you can't have our city. Crime, you can't have our children. Crime, you're not going to allow us to not enjoy this beautiful weather, to enjoy buying local. You're not going to stop us from enjoying our lives. But tonight we stand as one to say, crime, you can't have our minds. You can't have our hearts, and you're not going to stop us from enjoying life. And because of the men and women you see standing around you, some in blue and in brown in our Commonwealth's Attorney's Office, the support of mayor and council and our city manager, we're all together tonight in all parts of this community. We're standing as one people saying, you can't have Suffolk. So with that, I'll tell you to try not to eat too much this evening and enjoy yourselves, and hopefully I'll see you out on the tour tonight. Thank you so much.
And thank you, gentlemen, for all that each of you do to enhance the safety of our city. I'd like to recognize the members of the Suffolk National Night Out Committee and ask that they please stand, give a wave. We've got lots of volunteers that have worked here this evening, our National Night Out Committee. They basically started working the day after National Night Out last year, and it's definitely made a tremendous impact on our community, and for that I say thank you. I'd also like to thank the Target Distribution Warehouse and their employees. We've got a number of them joining us this evening. If you folks would please stand to be recognized. They'll be joining us this evening as judges out in our community and participating at also a number of our community events as well. Now, if all of this evening's tour coordinators could please stand. As you'll see by the signs and the information that was handed out as you all first came in, as well as the signs joining the walkway, there are a number of motorcade tours. We'd like to ask that you please decide in advance what tour you'd like to join us on before we leave for this evening's event. While you leave the driving to us, we'll bring you back to this facility following the evening's festivities. We've got an eventful evening planned for you, and in the next few hours, you are guaranteed a good time, good company, and last but not least, good food. I'd like to now ask our chaplain to lead us in our benediction.
Let us stand. Let us pray. Thanks be unto Thee, O God, for all the law enforcement officers of the police department and of the sheriff's department and others as well, the sacrifices that are made by their families and by themselves as they seek to make Suffolk a greater place in which to reside and to have our being. Walk with each one of them in their daily journey and their workplace as we look to Thee for the strength and the guidance that only You can give. Christ Jesus our Lord. Amen.